In the world of superheroes and supervillains, battles are not just a display of brute strength, but also of intelligence, strategy, and the sheer will to overcome insurmountable odds. Today, we're going to dive deep into a hypothetical battle between two fiery Marvel characters, Human Torch, also known as Johnny Storm, and Aldrich Killian, the villain from Iron Man 3. Both have their unique powers, and this clash of fire versus fire raises an interesting question. Who would win? Let's explore their backgrounds, strengths, weaknesses, and finally, who would come out victorious in this face-off? Powers and abilities. Johnny Storm, better known as the Human Torch, is one of the most iconic characters from the Fantastic Four team. After being exposed to cosmic radiation, Johnny gained the ability to engulf himself in flames, fly at high speeds, and project intense fire blasts. His temperature can reach extreme levels, with his most powerful form being known as the Nova Flame, which can burn at temperatures exceeding 1 million degrees Fahrenheit. Apart from his ability to manipulate fire, Johnny is a skilled pilot and has the natural charisma that gives him the upper hand in keeping a cool head, no pun intended, in the face of danger. Some of his most impressive feats include melting solid steel, going toe-to-toe with powerful enemies like Dr. Doom, and even using his fire powers to save lives in the most unexpected ways. His flying ability gives him a significant advantage in mobility during battles, and his energy projection can be used both offensively and defensively. However, Johnny is not without his limits. His powers require a lot of energy, and if he's pushed too far or uses his abilities for too long, he risks exhaustion or even losing control. On the other hand, we have Aldrich Killian, the villain from Iron Man 3. Killian is not your typical power-hungry villain. He's a brilliant scientist who used the Extremis virus to gain superhuman abilities. The Extremis virus allowed him to regenerate limbs, heal wounds almost instantly, and produce extreme heat from his body. His body became so enhanced that he could breathe fire and was nearly indestructible. Killian could also channel heat energy to make his entire body glow with molten heat, making him a terrifying opponent. Killian's powers go beyond physical strength. His intellect and cunning allowed him to manipulate Tony Stark and the world into believing in the fake Mandarin, showcasing his strategic mind. His combat skills, enhanced by Extremis, made him a formidable foe, not just in terms of raw power, but also in terms of how he approached each fight. He could recover from near-fatal injuries, giving him the ability to outlast most opponents. However, Killian's reliance on the Extremis virus is also a double-edged sword. If pushed too far, the virus can cause him to lose control, leading to a self-destructive meltdown. Strengths and weaknesses. A deeper dive. Johnny Storm's greatest asset is his ability to control fire. His flame manipulation allows him to engage opponents at a distance, and his flying ability gives him the agility to avoid direct attacks. The Nova Flame, his ultimate move, can potentially incinerate anything in its path. However, the Nova Flame is also risky because it drains a significant amount of Johnny's energy. His over-reliance on his powers also means that in situations where his flame is ineffective, like in underwater battles, he's at a severe disadvantage. Additionally, Johnny's youthful exuberance and sometimes reckless attitude can lead him into situations where he underestimates his opponent, making him vulnerable. Killian's strength lies in his regeneration ability, making him nearly immortal. His combat style, enhanced by Extremis, allows him to outlast most opponents by simply regenerating from almost any wound. His body temperature can rise to molten levels, and his combat prowess makes him lethal in close-range encounters. However, Killian's reliance on the Extremis virus means that if the virus is disrupted or overused, it can cause him to overheat or lose control of his powers. Moreover, Killian's strategic mind is focused on manipulation and control, which means he often depends on his plans working perfectly. If those plans are thwarted, he can become vulnerable. The battle. Fire versus fire. So, what happens when Human Torch and Aldrich Killian face off in an epic battle? At first glance, this seems like a battle of equals. Both control fire, both are incredibly powerful, and both have a knack for surviving extreme conditions. However, when you break it down, their fighting styles and capabilities differ significantly. Johnny Storm, with his ability to fly, would likely try to engage Killian from a distance, using his speed and agility to stay out of reach of Killian's devastating close combat abilities. He could launch fireballs or even use his Nova Flame in an attempt to overwhelm Killian. However, Killian's ability to regenerate would make it difficult for Johnny to inflict any lasting damage. Even the Nova Flame might not be enough to put Killian down for good, as he could regenerate from nearly any injury. On the other hand, if Killian managed to get in close, his superior strength and the heat he can generate from his body would pose a serious threat to Johnny. Killian's ability to heal from nearly any wound would give him the stamina to outlast Human Torch, especially if Johnny begins to tire after using his powers extensively. The key difference between the two comes down to strategy. Johnny's powers are vast, but they're also finite. He can't keep up his flame indefinitely. Killian, on the other hand, has the advantage of regeneration and endurance, which would allow him to recover from anything Johnny throws at him. The battle would likely be a long and drawn-out affair, with each combatant trying to exploit the other's weaknesses. Conclusion: who would win? In the end, the winner of this battle would likely be Aldrich Killian. While Johnny Storm is an incredibly powerful and resourceful superhero, Killian's regeneration and endurance give him the upper hand in a prolonged fight. Killian's ability to heal from any injury and his capacity to endure extreme heat means that Johnny's flames, even at their most intense, would struggle to keep him down. Additionally, Killian's strategic mind would likely allow him to outmaneuver Johnny and capitalize on any mistakes he makes. That being said, this isn't a battle that Johnny would lose easily. His quick thinking, flying abilities, and powerful fire manipulation would make him a formidable foe. And if he managed to find a way to exploit Killian's weaknesses, such as overheating due to the Extremis virus, he could potentially turn the tide in his favor. But overall, Killian's superior endurance and regeneration give him the edge in this fire versus fire showdown. Make sure to explore the rest of my videos for even more exciting character crossovers and intense battles that you won't want to miss. I truly appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Your support means the world to me. Don't forget to stay tuned for more awesome content coming your way. And as always, take care of yourselves, stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next one.